I'm a dork. Let's get Monarch Comics off the screen here because that's not what we're here to show. Well, I mean, we will eventually. I just did this and I was wondering, man, it's a really quiet stream. It's a really quiet stream. Must not have any viewers. No, it just turns out that I never hit the go live button. So anyway, I'm gonna there we go. Show that link, and I'm gonna pull up their website. We're gonna talk about JC's Comics and more here. JC's Comics. There it is. It's just like yes, Google search that. Yes. I'm gonna open up their website URL. Boom, and let me hit up their map. Load. Hey, there we go. All right, so we can actually let me make sure their website loads okay. It's being a little bit slow there. Oh. I gotta like raise up a little bit so that the text, the text right there is not completely covering me. But let me show my desktop here. No. That one. And let me take this away. You can kind of see like their website here. This dude, okay, so let me step back. See, I'm like so like, oh, I just talked about all this. What do I even say? But yeah, I'm on a business trip. I'm out of town. And I'm like, hey, I need something to do. I'm a nerd. Let's go find nerd things to do, which means well, let's go to the comic book store. So I went to the comic book store. And I went in there. And it's overwhelming. It absolutely is overwhelming. That dude has a ton of stuff. I don't want to know how many books that guy has because there's just bin after bin after bin of books. And they're not just like, oh, I should just like rifle through the books and just like go boom and look at the next one, the next one. No. They're jammed in there. So the books are all like ramrod straight, just boom. I was looking through and I'm like, oh man, I see he's got a little section marked out for Dirty Pair comics, right? Adam Warren art, which he wrote this. So that's why I bought it. I missed out on that when it was new. And so I'm like, I'm going to look at that. And I'm like, I couldn't get them out. They were so tightly packed. And I didn't want to like really dig in or something, you know, because I didn't want to like damage the books or be a jerk, be a bad customer, that kind of thing. And so I had to suffer. Yeah, so I went in there. Place is absolutely jam-packed. Let me click back over here. Like these pictures. Why would I want to go to Yelp? I just want to look at pictures. Okay. Anyway, we'll zoom in on the neighborhood where it's at, or I guess I should say the shopping center. First, there's a Waffle House in the parking lot. So, you know, you're doing good. Also, this sushi place is not there. The sushi place is actually like over here. And yeah, so the way it goes is there's Frogtown Johnny's there. Right next to it is actually JC's Comics and More, your pop culture superstore. And you walk in there, the place is absolutely just overwhelming. I think some of the smell from the restaurant next door is coming through because it smelled vaguely like fried food in there. It's kind of weird, a little off-putting. Not a fan. Not a fan. I would probably, if I owned it, probably like have the doors open all the time or something just to keep the air exchanging out, kind of get some of that funk out. But that's like the only like substantial negative because you go in there and that dude, I'm pretty sure he's got everything except Ronin. He didn't have Ronin because another guy came in and was looking for Ronin. He didn't. He's like, oh, I don't think I have any. But he had everything. Oh, and he didn't have Read Only Memories #2. That was actually why I went in there. It's like, oh man, I missed this at the end of January. I need to go in and get that. And I'm looking. He's got like the new comics are in the back left corner of the store. So I'm like, I find that or walk around and I see them and I'm like, here we go. This is stuff from like 4 weeks ago and 3 weeks ago next to each other. So he's actually got them separated out by a week. Unlike, say, Graham Crackers or Westfield, where the last several weeks of comics or last several issues of comics are all on the shelf together and just has, you know, like back issues behind. So I'm like looking, and that's where I saw the Venoms was over there, and I got that $5. Good purchase. Where'd my receipt go? There it is. There is the receipt, which, I paid filthy cash instead of like credit, because it's like, it's a $5 charge. Like, I don't want that guy paying 25 cents or whatever it is, like you have to pay for the minimum charge on a purchase that they got to do. But that was cool. A little bit intimidating. There was so many books that was a little bit intimidating to look at. Not even going to front. There's a store in Madison that does that to me too. It's called Capital Comics, but it's kind of for a different reason. Capital Comics, you go in, and there's just books everywhere, and I don't think they're organized at all. It's just like chaos in there, and nothing has a price. So you just you take whatever you think that you might want up to the counter, and the dude will like talk your ear off about whatever, and then you give him the book, and he hands it to some other guy, and that other guy goes $12, and then that's when you pay. I know that because I bought that Go-Go 13 manga volume that I reviewed from there, and that's how that process went. It was like 12 or 14 bucks or something. Totally worth it, by the way. That was a great book. That was an absolutely fabulous book. People on Twitter, they say that like in the last couple of days, I've been getting lots of, you're a bad person. You're one of those villains from World War II or whatever. And I love that Go-Go 13 book. That was all about killing them. So I don't know. People are crazy. They read too much into too little. They put and I'm no exception to this, but people will take like their own problems, their own neuroses, and they'll project them, which is why psychologists call that projection. That's neither here nor there. I'm trying to think like, okay, where do I want to go from here? I want to talk more about the actual whole area here, because this is a hoot. Can I go to like the satellite map? Yeah. Can you see my mouse cursor if I'm like showing this? I don't think you can you? Oh, that's a bummer. All right, we see where the little restaurant symbol is. That is Frogtown Bar and Grill. Right next to that, to the left on the map, if I point to the left, I think the image is actually mirrored, but because I see it mirrored, so I should actually point to the left, which is really weird because I'm pointing to my right. Why? I don't know. But if you go to the left of that, that is where JC's Comics is. It's right here. Let's go out a little bit more. Can we go out? A little more. So it's on Central Avenue, which is also Highway 20, but it's right next to Interstate 475. So you get off at this exit and just go whoop, and you're there. Pretty convenient. Also convenient is all the stuff that's in this little area, because you've got comic book store. Do I have to like actually go back to the other one to get you to put names on this stuff? There's Checkmate, which is a board game type store, and card games, that kind of stuff. You want to play some Magic cards or whatever, they're there. Then there's a video game store next to that. So I like hit all three while I was right there, man. I went like comic book store, video game store, board game store. Comic book store, JC's Comics, I just talked about that. Tons of stuff, tons of cool stuff, man. There's all kinds of whatever you can think of is in there. Dude had graphic novels of every stripe. There were figurines, statues, toys. He had big old treasury editions, like magazine format books. Anything you can think of was in there. And I was really hoping I could show. Google Maps has a pretty good picture, but I think this will probably do pretty good here if we can like look at some of this. Is that going to open up the image? No, that just refreshed the page. If I go to about, are we going to see more? Anyway, there's just tons and tons of stuff. And this dude's got a YouTube channel. You might want to. Oh, wow. That's pretty terrible. Oh, yeah, there's his YouTube channel. I want to check that out. I know I just subscribed to it right before I started this stream. He like does unboxings of like the stuff he gets in and stuff. I think I've seen this guy's YouTube videos before at some point. It was like he was unpacking stuff and he was showing damages. I don't know if that's the same guy, but I totally saw a video from a comic shop where they were doing that. Um, None of these images up here really do it justice. I'm going to stop sharing the screen for just a second. So let me just click over here. There we go. Oh, it's all I'm big again. And I'm going to go Google Maps and do this search because Google Maps has better pictures. I know that sounds terrible, right? Here I am giving Google more information. JC Comics and more. That is not how you spell more. I ended up spelling Moire, or however that's pronounced, with the M-O-I-R-E, which is like this weird graphical effect. And I'm only familiar with it from making Doom levels, of all things. And I miss Doom. I miss making levels in Doom. The old Doom level editors, they were so simple, man. Anybody could make a stage. Oh, here we go. Yeah, this is exactly what I want. Let me show that window again. There we go. So this is the front of the store. And I'm showing these instead of my own pictures because my pictures were terrible. They absolutely were complete garbage because it is raining out there. And my camera was all like, I shall focus on the raindrops, which from an artistic perspective can lead to some pretty stunning stuff. But that is not what I wanted. I wanted a picture of the sign of the front of the store. Here it is. Check it out. You can check it out. So that's what it looks like from the outside. You get to the inside, and this is up from near the register. The register is just to the left of here, and you can see these red bins. They're just full. They're absolutely packed full of books. You cannot pull the books up out of there. At least I couldn't out of the one I tried. I looked at a few things. Just also to the left and further down, well, right on the left of the screen, there's a rack of graphic novels in those shelves, and then just to the left of that is like some bins with comics that are priced just like $1. I looked at a couple of those. So there's nothing I wanted to get, but it is a very packed store. There's just stuff literally everywhere, and you know what? It was in about the same state of complete, uncontrolled chaos. Like madness was about to erupt in that place. There's enough comic books here, and I'm pretty sure the store is on the verge of spontaneously summoning Cthulhu at any point, which, if you want a bunch of comic books, is probably a good thing. The stuff that I looked at that was just kind of laying around was priced a little bit out of my price range for what I would like to pay for, comic books. I'm probably sure that if I went on eBay or whatever, it's all priced fairly. It didn't seem like the kind of store that would like go out of its way to rip you off or anything, which is why I'm giving it pretty positive. Like, you should go check this out if you were in the area. This is kind of like visiting the temple or whatever. So I'm glad I went in there. Definitely cool. There's a couple other comic book stores around here. There's this Monarch Comics over here, and if I go there, I'll probably hit this old school gaming place too, because it's they're not that far away. I mean, that far on this map is, let's say that's 2,000 feet. So boom, boom. It's probably about a mile apart. That's essentially right next to each other. And there's also this one over here called the Nexus 419, which just has a great name. But the problem with that is it's all the way down here. And like that Monarch Comics, if I'm reading the map right, is like over in this area, and I would have to like go across a bridge here and go up that way and probably get lost and drive into the river, and no one would ever hear from me again. And then you wouldn't have to put up with these videos. Could be a win for you. Oh, hey, Bren. Yeah, just I'm here at a hotel. I got nothing to do, and I just got done going to the comic book store, and I just thought I'd talk about that. It's not the first time I've streamed on YouTube. It's just the first time in your estimation that I've done it in a while. I did this a couple weeks ago just to try out using StreamYard, and I think it works better on my laptop than it did on my desktop, because on my desktop, it totally muted my microphone, and you're not complaining about me being silent. So something is actually working, which is pretty good. Was there anything else I wanted to show over here in Brave? I don't think so. It's kind of funny to have a Dixie Highway up in Ohio. You're kind of north of the Mason-Dixon line, but whatever. So anyway, I went in that store, JC's Comics and More. I couldn't leave empty-handed. I didn't want to just like go in and not get anything. So I bought a book. I wanted to get Read Only Memories too, but he had these. He had like 3 or 4 of these left. I missed this when it came out because I didn't think it was going to be any good. People on the internet were like, "This is crazy and pretty fun." Okay, so I got it. It's written by Adam Warren. And maybe that's why when I was in there, I started looking at the Dirty Pair because his name was on my mind. And I love his artwork on the Dirty Pair. I think his art in the Dirty Pair books is better than his art on the Empowered books that he does. It's certainly got a more interesting style to it. Although he has developed his own unique style. I don't think there's anybody that draws quite like Adam Warren. First time you see you do this, you like it. Okay, well, I'm glad you like it. I'm just kind of hanging out. Hey, since I'm mentioning Empowered, why don't I just pull up his webcomic? Adam Warren, I don't know how to explain like what he does, but it's very much like a manga influenced kind of thing. Let me just kind of open that up. The heroes are in kind of a bad place at this part of the story because the villain Deathmonger is kind of winning, and that's not a good thing. But if you want to check that out, you can go to the website, empoweredcomic.com, and you can check out Adam Warren. He's serializing his old Empowered comics there because he's got a new volume coming out later this year. I think he just did the art for it, so hopefully it won't take too long to arrive. Oh, actually, you know what? Hold on, while I ain't got the map, there was a joke I wanted to make that I don't think I'd finished making. Let me show that map again. There we go. So yeah, here's where JC's Comics and More is, and right next to it on one side is a bar and grill. It's the Frogtown Bar and Grill. On the other side is a pharmacy. I'm like, okay, go in, look at some comics. Now this was a little earlier in the day because we kind of wrapped up the work I was doing a little bit early. So I went over there, and I wasn't hungry, or I would have actually went in that bar and grill and got like a burger or something. But on the other side of the comic book store was a pharmacy. Okay, so go in, buy a comic book, go get some dinner, and dinner gives me heartburn. I can just go to the pharmacy. Then you know what? I don't want my precious comic books to get crushed in my suitcase. UPS store, I can just have them ship the book for me. Oh, but you know what? That's not all that's over here. There's also Checkmate Games and Hobbies, which is a board game store, has a lot of floor space available. Probably pretty good if you want to like set up and play a war game, like Warhammer or whatever. There's so many of them anymore that it's kind of crazy. Or you want to play Magic the Gathering, or you want to play an actual board game or whatever. They were pretty friendly in that Checkmate Games and Hobbies. They didn't have anything that interested me in as like a purchase item, but it was pretty cool. And right next to that was it's not showing it on the screen here. Maybe I need to zoom in one more time. That Google actually has those reversed. Video Game Underground is on the other side of Checkmate Games and Hobbies. And I went in there and I talked to the owner. I think he is way harder core than I am when it comes to video game stuff. But he did give me a piece of advice for figuring out what's wrong with my Atari 7800. And I want to make sure that that's noted because he had a 7800 for sale. And I was like, oh man, I'm eyeing that 7800. I need to get mine repaired. He's like, oh yeah, what's wrong with it? And I described the problem to him. The signal's like completely garbage. Like, oh, that's probably just interference, which blew my mind. That means that maybe if I switch to the other channel, so instead of 3, channel 4 on the receiver box, it might put the frequency in a different range, and that might fix it. If not, I at least have like an angle to work from, and maybe I need to take some of the wiring out from the back of that because behind my TV is just this rat's nest of cables, and that stuff all acts like an antenna. Which, if you were at one of my band's concerts back in the day, you would have discovered that phenomenon because our wiring, specifically, I think it was the wiring between my sampler and the stereo system, we just started picking up a radio station, which we were doing weird music anyway. It was absolute weird stuff. So it actually kind of fit in with what we were doing, you know, but generally a band does not want their music equipment to be picking up a radio station. But yeah, we were talking, and I don't know, he was kind of a weird guy, I guess. I don't know how to put it. That's what I mean, like when I say he's like way harder core into this than I am, because he just like knew things. It was a little uncanny, maybe a little unnerving, because we were talking about that stuff, and he started talking about he had it. Oh my God, this dude had a Neo Geo. Boom, brain explode. Nobody had a Neo Geo, but this dude had a Neo Geo. And he was telling me about how, was it 89.1, the radio station? Maybe it was like 88.1, but it was some radio station. And he's like, yeah, turn the Neo Geo on. Boom, static. No more music. Crazy. Absolutely crazy. I'm surprised that actually made it through testing, because FCC, if you look at any electronics manufactured for sale in the United States, the FCC basically says that the electronics have been tested to not interfere with radio and specific da-da-da-da-does. And one of the things that means is it's not supposed to interfere with the publicly available broadcast bands. So that's FM radio, AM radio, VHF, and UHF TV. Those things are supposed to be clear. Everything, like any interference that comes off from a consumer electronics, is not supposed to interfere with those kind of signals. And if his Neo Geo was, then maybe maybe there's something wrong with it, or maybe that's why. He told me that apparently they changed in the Neo Geo later models. They changed like what voltage they ran at or something. And that's the kind of thing you do if you're trying to change the impedance of a circuit so that you don't output radiation in the same way. Because if you have a higher voltage, you can run it, well, depending on how you rig up the circuit, you can run your system at either more or less current, or change your impedances to match. So if they were running the system at a higher voltage, then they might have needed less wire, or they might have used more wire or something to change the internals around. That would have changed the configuration of the machine so that it would no longer be a radio transmitter antenna. So that was kind of a cool conversation. I didn't buy anything from him because, man, some of that stuff was mad price. I was looking at one of his Genesis games. I don't even remember which one anymore. And it was like $160. And I'm just like, oh! Which maybe I shouldn't be, because when I was a kid in Hawaii at Toys R Us, Strider on the Genesis was $100. Now, that was in Hawaii. Everything in Hawaii is priced, or at least back then was priced way higher, because, you know, you got to ship it from somewhere else by boat. And that costs a lot of money. But still, when you are, I was going to gesture like to height, but when you are a shorter person, because you're still a child, $100 is a lot of money. That is a lot of money. That is a mind blow. In fact, that to me as an adult, that's a lot of money. So $160, I'm just like, woo! But he had everything, man. He had DVDs in there. He had if you had a PlayStation Portable, he had UMD movies in there, which I thought was kind of a hoot. We actually talked about that for a little while. This dude, he had the knowledge. He had the secret knowledge. And that was just right up there at Video Game Underground. Let me see if I can get a picture of this place. Oh, hey, that's perfect. That's perfect. That is way better than the picture I took. You can see how Video Game Underground and Checkmate are literally right next to each other. It's pretty cool. It's definitely pretty cool. This dude had a lot of stuff. I won't say he had everything, because it's not like he was over there at the comic book store where they literally had everything. But this dude had some pretty good stuff. He had some cheaper stuff too, like you could get the Columns Genesis cart. Maybe it was Columns 2, I forget. It was like $8 or something, which seems like a pretty reasonable price. I'm sure his prices are fairly competitive with what the going rates are Um, got any inside pictures? No, it doesn't look like we do. Well, honestly, the store was not really a looker. Like it was pretty. There was like a rack of movies over here, the glass case over here, stuff along the walls, and then I think PS4 games were like on a rack right here and stuff. So the store wasn't like all that great to look at, but it had some cool stuff in it. Had some cool stuff. Can we get an inside picture of this place? This was kind of cool. Yeah. You can see like how I described it. Like most of the stuff in the store is on the walls. This stuff was the Hero Clicks. I think this was on the right side wall when you walk in. There's like a area where the register was supposed to be over here, which had a little standee and some stuff. And then there was this stuff. And as you went that way, you got into like the Warhammer miniature stuff. And then there was some of that wrapped around the other side. Then there was like the role playing games. And then right by the front door was the actual board game section. Yeah. Hey, here we go. This is taken from, wow, this is a lot more stuff, I think, than is in there right now. I don't remember. I think there was only 3 of those shelves underneath where that sign is. Am I seeing this right? Yeah, they have rearranged the store a little bit from when this picture was taken, if I'm looking at it right. Uh, but I think the front of the store in this picture is on the left because those shelves with the board games are still there. And there was this little thing of board games right here. And I think that other rack there that you see in the background was moved somewhere else. And then there was like role-playing games and that kind of stuff. And there was, you can see like where that standee for Magic the Gathering is. That's where there was like a gaming table set up. It was pretty cool. It was pretty cool. And there's a little fridge to get sodas and stuff in there, which I'm sure is a big part of their business. Oh man, it's a dead fly. And it's such a hoot. Hello, a dead fly. I'm streaming on StreamYard on YouTube. This is crazy. It's actually working. Unlike the last time I tried to stream with StreamYard and it didn't work. How's it going, dead fly? You enjoying that sweet Cookie Crisis life? I swear, I don't remember the game being that long. I don't remember that ROM hack being that long, dude. So I apologize that I have inflicted that upon you because I remember it taking me like 45 minutes or an hour, maybe an hour and a half at the outside. And I don't remember getting frustrated on any one of the levels. So your experience has like totally thrown me askew. I'm definitely going to have to like play that maybe this weekend when I get back from this business trip and see if I rage as much as you do, because you have had a very frustrating time with Cookie Crisis, dude. You absolutely have. I think I'm out of stuff to talk about. There's a couple other game stores around here and comic stores and that kind of stuff. I don't know if I'm going to get to them because I think my tomorrow is going to be really busy and I might not get around to it. But I would like to try to find a Read Only Memories #2 from somewhere. And if I got to order from Midtown Comics, then I'll just have to order one from Midtown Comics. But I would rather not do that. I would rather give it to my money to like a smaller kind of store than the gigantic Midtown, which occupies the entire city of New York. You can see it's so big, it's making me tiny. No, seriously, I like Midtown Comics. It's just, they're not my store. And if I'm in a town, I would like to support that town's stores. Is the latency huge? Well, I'm not surprised because I'm streaming. Gosh, this is like convoluted. So I'm on the hotel Wi-Fi, but I'm VPN'd into my network at home. So it's going from here, like 400 miles that way, and then, yeah, that way. And then from there to the StreamYard server, which who knows where that is. And then from there to YouTube. Like, I don't know how this works. Like, maybe it doesn't go to like the StreamYard server, but I do know the latency from streaming this way is longer than the latency if I was streaming with OBS. I do know that much. From when I did this randomly a couple weeks ago to test it out, Latency seemed to be more on the order of like 20 seconds instead of like the 5 that would be normal if I was streaming with low latency on YouTube. Oh, let me put this up. It's making you better at Super Mario physics. You know, that's one of those things when I watch streamers playing Mario or play Mario Maker, and it's like, but you could just like spin on that. Because in Super Mario World, you can just spin on the buzzsaw or whatever. And in Mario Maker, you can't do that. So it like messes with my mind every time. I still like that I'm playing it, disregarding all the annoying parts. You'll be waiting for your stream of it. Yeah. We'll see how that goes. When can I do that? Because when I get home this weekend, 6 is probably going to want to play 7 Days to Die with me. My Saturday is probably going to evaporate. Maybe do that on my Sunday stream. That's a nice 3-hour block of time. That might work. And then I can upload the videos in pieces to YouTube the next week. That might work okay. What time is it? It's, oh wait, that's local time. What is it in Central? Wait, I can do that math in my head. 5 p.m. plus 1 hour is 6 p.m. I should probably go get some dinner. It's kind of, it's still icky outside. Yeah, I can't tell. I can't tell if it's still icky outside. It probably is. There's a couple of restaurants right near the hotel, so I might just pop over to like one of them and get something. There is a Chili's over here. There's one thing I like at Chili's, and that's the stupid Southwestern egg rolls, man. I can't resist those things. I don't know why. They're not that good, but I love them. I absolutely love them. So I might just go over there and get that. It's an appetizer, but I'll just have that. Bring me the Southwestern egg rolls, please. And then they'll bring them out. I'll be like, yeah, both thumbs. So Deadfly, Bren, and anybody that happens to be lurking out there, thank you so much for hanging out with me. I hope the audio's been okay, because hotel room acoustics are not the best acoustics in the world. Just like hotel room Wi-Fi is not the best Wi-Fi in the world, and hotel room lighting is not the best lighting in the world. Man, it's so yellow. Everything is like, it's so yellow, and then my hand is like so blue from the screen. It's a weird contrast. But I'm going to shut up now. I'm going to head out, and you all take care of yourselves. Oh, Dark Admiral March Hare. I knew I'm not the only one. Yeah. Ah, yes. Yes. Ultimate power. I appreciate you dropping by. I appreciate you dropping by. I appreciate the thumbs up. And anybody else that left me likes, I appreciate the thumbs up. Take care of yourselves. I'm really going to go now before somebody else shows up and I have to say hi to them. Not that I don't want to say hi to them, but I'm starting to get hungry. I had Chinese food for lunch, and the whole "you're hungry 2 hours later" thing is true. Although that Mongolian beef was pretty good. Right. I'm heading out. Take care of yourselves. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. I really do appreciate it. And I sure hope to see you again next time. There's probably not going to be a new comic book day stream tomorrow, simply because I'm not in town. Hotel room girlfriends. Okay, yeah, we're done. But yeah, my books are in another city, so I'm probably not going to do a stream tomorrow for New Comic Book Day. But I might just do a review of Venom here. Oh, used to. It's too bad the Sam's Club in my where I live closed. I was a member, man. And you go in there and you get you got me talking again. You son of a gun. That's it. I'm going to hit end broadcast. The finger is going towards the button. Slowly, inexorably. Bye-bye, everybody. It didn't actually click. That was a letdown. My touch screen didn't touch. But this will work. I hope. Please work.